It's the Horizon League on ESPN+. Tonight from Engelman Stadium in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the traveling Chancellor's Cup is on the lines as the couple of rivals, separated by a good 90 minutes or so, meet as the Milwaukee Panthers host the Green Bay Phoenix. Taking a look at the current Horizon League standings, UIC currently in first place, off to a 3-0 start. Wright State currently in second place, with Green Bay, last year's regular season conference champions, sitting in third, but not far behind in fourth, the Milwaukee Panthers at 1-0-1 in conference competition. Hello, welcome to our game broadcast. My name is Matt Menzel. Green Bay overall sits with 5 victories, 3 defeats, and 1 tie overall. They've lost 3 out of their last 4 following a setback on Tuesday against Purdue-Fort Wayne, but here in conference play, they've come away with victories against Cleveland State and against IUPUI and lost against Northern Kentucky. Our Phoenix player to watch is Tomer Zlakzauer. Zlakzauer already is tied for 5th in the Horizon League with a total of 4 goals. Of those 4, 3 have been game winners. Not shy about shooting. He's taken a total of 21 shots. 11 of those have been on goal. And last year when these two teams got together for the Chancellor's Cup, he came through with a couple of assists in the Green Bay victory. As for the Milwaukee Panthers, they too have an identical overall record of 5 victories, 3 defeats, and 1 tie. And so far in conference play, this is a team that has beaten Northern Kentucky, yet settled for a tie here against the Cleveland State Vikings. Our Panthers player to watch is Evan Conway. For Conway, he leads the team with 3 goals and a couple of assists as well. The 2016 Horizon League Freshman of the Year had an assist last year when these teams got together, and he's hoping that perhaps the Panthers can reclaim that traveling Chancellor's Cup after they lost the Wayne Cup on Tuesday against Northern Illinois. It's the Milwaukee Panthers and the Green Bay Phoenix in men's soccer. We kick off this matchup next on ESPN+. Welcome back to Engelman Stadium. 51 degrees our game time temperature, and surprise, it's raining. Rain hampering the area a little bit sooner than predicted, and it may be with us now for the duration of this Chancellor's Cup matchup between the Milwaukee Panthers and the Green Bay Phoenix. Let's check out the starting 11. Again, Green Bay with 5 victories, 3 defeats, and 1 tie. 2-1 in Horizon League play. Good for 3rd place. Again, their lone loss in conference came against Northern Kentucky back on September 15th. And we talked about the play of Zlakzauer, but also in that conversation as far as who's been able to do what so far this season, Kareem Lauba has 1 goal to his credit, as does Joey Bourgeois. 7 different players have scored for the Phoenix, who have scored a total of 12 goals in their first now 9 matchups. They average about, give or take, 9.3 shots per game. Head coach of the Phoenix, back for his 4th season, is Jeremy Bonomo. As for the Milwaukee Panthers, they're coached by Chris Kelderman. 7th year at the Panther helm, following 1 year as the Green Bay Phoenix head coach back in 2011. He goes with Vuk Latinovic, Sean Holmes, part of that midfield, along with Swat Sulic and Francisco Saporito. Evan Conway playing up top with his team-leading 3 goals and a couple of assists, followed by Holmes and Josh Kay back after he missed the game on Tuesday against NIU. They each have 2 goals, Holmes and Kay, and as is Alex Sykes, who we will see at some point as well. That for the Panthers, that 5 victories, 3 defeats, and 1 tie, 1-0-1 in conference play, good for 4th place out of 9 in the Horizon League. Both teams played Tuesday at non-conference play. We mentioned Green Bay falling against Purdue-Fort Wayne 1-0. Panthers, a 2-1 loss against NIU for the Wayne Cup, in which the Panthers were able to jump in front 1-0, got off to a great start, had a 1-0 halftime lead, only give up a couple of goals in the second half. Both teams taking 16 shots, with 8-5 NIU in shots on goal. Evan Conway will get this matchup underway. It's always a good one when these two teams get together. In fact, 6 of the last 8 have gone to overtime. 5 of those 6 overtime games, double overtime. 4 of those 6 overtime games have resulted in a golden goal being scored. Green Bay currently in possession of the Chancellor's Cup. We'll see if it switches hands. You see what has happened over time as these teams meet now for the 48th time since 1975. And Green Bay came away with an overtime winner last year. They got a couple of goals from Audie Jepson, who has since moved on. Jepson was a first-team all-conference selection last year. That's one of the big blows coming into this season after that regular season conference championship season. Sean Holmes Into the corner with Andre Bairez on the markup for Green Bay. It's outside the 18. And Green Bay able to clear back along that far side. Off the touch here with Joey Bourgeois. That's knocked into play, and the Panthers will take over. From Milwaukee, they come having scored a total of 13 goals in their first now 9 matches. Good for 5th best in the Horizon League and averaging, give or take, about 11 shots a game. Out of the back with Andres Sorensen. Taken away here by Jack Bradford. Bradford from nearby Whitefish Bay went to Marquette University High School in their tradition-filled boys soccer program. Ball knocked out of play by Bairez, and the Panthers will get ready to throw it in. Rain picking up here. It started about, give or take, 10 minutes before kickoff. Wasn't expected to hamper the area until much later, but here it is. And we'll see if it plays a factor as we go along and creating some slicks traction on that turf. Rain was supposed to be a bigger factor for the Panther NIU game on Tuesday. The rain had stopped before kickoff and made for some slippery conditions, but nothing that really hampered the play between the Huskies and Panthers.
What just happened down here?
The Phoenix, Bradford. Off the turn, ball taken off the cleat of Tomar Zlakzauer. After the touch by Sean Holmes. Zlakzauer trying to play it back toward Bradford. Bradford playing in his 10th game, 9th start, did not play against Western Michigan. Or did not start in that matchup against the Broncos, which was back on September the 19th. They've asked a lot of Bradford in that back line. 7 times he has played 90-plus minutes. Vuklitinovic on the takeaway from Joey Bourgeois. And now Swat Sulic. A foul here is going to go against Green Bay. So a restart here for Francisco Saporito, and as he went to turn, he nearly turned right into Bourgeois. Oncoming pressure from Bourgeois. And knocked back into the attacking end for Green Bay. Yeah, Bourgeois on that far side, but instead it's going to be Milwaukee out of the midfield. Baran Husseini, a senior out of Milwaukee. South Milwaukee High School is where he played his prep ball. Freddie Lorenzen, the starting goalkeeper for the Panthers. 10th game, over 830 minutes played, 8 goals allowed with a 0.87 goals against average. 41 saves and 83 save percentage, which is second best in the Horizon League. 5 victories, 3 defeats, and a tie to go along with a total of 3 shutouts. That was knocked away from Sean Holmes. Again, Bourgeois is playing up top for Green Bay. He comes in with the 1 goal. He has taken 11 shots, which is tied for second best on the team. For the Phoenix, Zlakzauer, and again taken away in midfield. Saporito leaving it back here for Sean Asqueda. Good pressure here from Zlakzauer, able to take it and regain control for the Phoenix. Ian Smith, part of the starting 11. Smith is back for his junior year. Did not start Tuesday against Purdue Fort Wayne, but he is back in the starting 11 for a 9th time. This is his 10th game appearance. There's Kareem Lauba on the pass to Brian Vane. Back with Adam Mansa. We're going to send it across far side. Got deflecting off the chest here of Sean Holmes. Swat Sulic. You had Conway who had a piece, but Vuklitinovic will play back here for the Panthers. Coming across, trying to play it, and instead going flying into the Panthers sideline is Josh Keg. Great to see him back and healthy, or at least as healthy as can be in a uniform here tonight after, again, he was not able to give it a go against NIU. That on Tuesday. And Josh Kay has been a factor on both ends of the field. He has mainly been known for his defensive play, but become a bigger impact player on the attacking end. A couple of goals and an assist on a year in which he's taken 13 shots. Been a big part of Set pieces for Milwaukee. Smith able to spread the field to Bradford. Bradford on the lead feet had Zlakzauer and Bourgeois up top. Bourgeois was in motion. Bradford will head it back into the midfield circle, but taken away here by the Panthers. Vuklatinovic. Leaving it on this outside after the ball was played by Sean Reynolds. Reynolds able to get the Panthers scoring started on Tuesday. Had the only goal in the 11th minute that Milwaukee was able to register. Cameron Williams was in the starting 11 for that game. Will be coming off the bench here tonight, along with Evan Conway. Had the assist off that quick Panthers start. That's off Holmes, and now played by Bradford. Early on, the Panthers with the lone shot in this battle for the Traveling Chancellors Cup. Latinovic, pressure from Vang. And a foul is going to go against Vang. And a free kick here for the Panthers. Overall, Milwaukee with a record of 1-2-1 here at home, and they played well here. We start looking back throughout time, and under head coach Chris Kelderman. But coming off a loss and a tie, their last two home matchups. Look out in front after Sorensen got a piece of it. Nikola Kovacic, the starting goalkeeper. Each 5'10", 170, a redshirt junior from Serbia. One of a couple of goalkeepers that have been used. Almost been a 50-50 split, along with Jamison Yoder, who was a sophomore from St. Charles, Illinois. Back when these teams got together last year, it was Kovacic who was the starting goalkeeper, along with Lorenzen. So the same goalkeeping matchup as last year when these teams got together on this very field on September the 9th to open up Horizon League play. But Kovacic, sixth appearance, fifth start, did not start against Eastern Illinois. A 1-0 Phoenix win in which he played 4 minutes and 10 seconds back on the 2nd of September. Into the corner here for the Phoenix, that for Brady Lennis, the senior from Sturgeon Bay. Transfer from St. Louis. Last year played in 17 games, made 3 starts. Had a couple of goals, both coming in conference play, one against Detroit Mercy, the other coming against Wright State. Lennis, good flight over the head of Sorensen on the back end. Long run here for Bayrez. Going far post, headed right back out to Bradford. In front, Mansa, the closest Phoenix. Bayrez. Andre Bayrez back up top to Smith. Out of the back now you have Bourgeois, a forward / midfielder. Knocked away here by Holmes. Latinovic able to spread the field up this right side. The run by Swatsulic. He set out last year after transferring in, a transfer from Bradley out of Minnetonka, Minnesota. Nearly taken away by Smith, recovered by Conway, but a tough pass on the outside for Latinovic. And Green Bay will take over. Phoenix have lost 3 of their last 4 following a strong start. They would see this team go unbeaten in its first 5. Their first loss came against Northern Kentucky before they also lost against Western Michigan. Bounced back to beat IUPUI in double overtime, but then lost against Purdue Fort Wayne on Tuesday. But they're 3-0 away from their brand new soccer complex. Also named Aldo Santaga Stadium, but new location, new everything. Honoring the Phoenix Hall of Fame coach. He was part of the opening ceremony, had the first kick. Team played Hartford back on the 24th of August. They began their season at their new field, which the 1978 team was honored at halftime. That was Santaga's first team, an NCAA Division II tournament team.
Seconds, Green. Seconds.
Free kick here for Vuk Latinovic. Latinovic, 3 assists on the year. Giving this one a ride out of bounds. A goal kick here for Green Bay as Kovacic able to place it. And he has one shutout, one shared shutout, does Kovacic on the year. He has started out the last 4 games, and on Tuesday allowed 1 goal, made a couple of saves in 90 minutes of play. As many as 5 saves, which came against Western Michigan on September the 19th. He's been asked to make 2 saves already in this first half, not 11 minutes in. Sulic to his right. Right back to his left, finds some spacing, takes a shot, and Kovacic able to cover up before Kay could find the rebound.
Eyes up here.
So Swat Sulic with the look. He's taken a number of shots this season, but has 1 goal and a couple of assists. Sulic able to score against Penn, a home game back on September the 9th. A well-played game, the last home win for the Panthers, which was a 2-0 result. Sulic and Conway able to finish in that non-conference affair. Asqueta able to disrupt the cross. And the Panthers able to dump it back into their attacking end. Off the slip, and you can tell the turf getting a little slick now after Mansa lost his footing. Up this nearest side was Lochzauer. And Lochzauer going to go far post. You can already see a couple of bodies slipping and sliding. One player sliding right in front of Freddie Lorenzo, which put him in a tough spot to try to quickly locate where that attempt was coming from. But again, that shot taken by Lochzauer, who came into this game with 21 shots, 11 of which on goal. Lorenzen against NIU on Tuesday. Couple of goals allowed, made 6 saves. Headed by Mansa. Bradford now against Asqueta. On the turn, a foul is going to be whistled here against Joey Bourgeois. You wonder too, and I know we talk about the weather. You know, both of these teams battling same condition, but you wonder how prepared these two teams were for the rain. Yes, it was in the forecast, but they were talking at one point much later, maybe not even affecting this game whatsoever, and all of a sudden, during warm-ups, nothing. Right before the teams came back out, or at least the Panthers came back out, introductions taking place, rain started to hamper the area. And now here it is, and it's picked up since kickoff. Getting the right cleats on, and just prepare it. Mentally, too, for these type of conditions. Lochzauer on the pass with Lauba. Lorenzen comes out, and he will fall on top of the ball. Almost at times looking like a slip and slide out here. And we've seen a few guys already sliding, trying to gain traction. 14th minute, and Lorenzen able to get rid of it. Get nervous sometimes on those drop kicks. Just, again, trying to get footing. Trying to avoid a slip and miscue. Knocked away from Conway. And Kelderman getting back. That being Jake Kelderman, the redshirt sophomore defender, a redshirt in 2016. Off the takeaway, Brian Vang. Getting the feed right back from Lochzauer. Bradford. Vang, two-way midfielder according to Coach Bonomo. Vang, not afraid to tackle, do the blue-collar work. A junior from St. Paul, Minnesota. Lennis came over, trying to regain control for the Phoenix, and does off the throw in here by Lauba. Vang. And too far ahead for Kareem Lauba. He's from Guadalupe. Deflected off a Panther, and so a corner kick will be resulted for Green Bay. This will be their second corner kick. It's going to be taken again by Brady Lennis. As he gets ready to put it back into play, he'll play it short over with Lochzauer. And Lochzauer looking to send it across. Out it comes. Smith. He'll wind up going far side. Out toward Conway. Can the Panthers counter? Smith able to hold Conway in place. Sulic able to keep it in bounds. but giving it right back to Vang, who will leave it back for Kovacic. Now for the Phoenix, 9 victories, 5 defeats, 3 ties overall last year. The most wins since winning 11 back in 2011, the one year that Coach Kelvin was at the Green Bay helm. Phoenix went 7-1-1 in Horizon League play. They lost against UIC, tied Cleveland State. Finished in first out of 10, above UIC, and it was the Phoenix first Horizon League regular season title. It did finish first in the West Division of the old MCC back in 1994, but for those that know anything about Green Bay soccer, know that they were in desperate need of a new venue, new field. They got it this year, but although Santaga Stadium, the old Santaga Stadium, lacked any kind of amenity, was in no position to host a Horizon League tournament, although they had the opportunity to last year, but could not because of a lack of number of things. And so they ended up having to go to UIC. As the number 1 seed, UIC got the opportunity to host the Horizon League tournament. Phoenix ended up beating Detroit Mercy. Detroit Mercy, remember, tied Milwaukee, yet beat the Panthers in a shootout last year in the opening round of Horizon League tournament to play, and then Green Bay would go on and lose to UIC in the final 2-0. The beauty is, if you're the Phoenix, you feel good about where you're at. Yeah, you lost a great player, certainly last year in Audie Jepson, but as far as talent goes, a good bulk of the team back. 15 out of the 21 players who played back, and so you find yourself now with a brand new situation up there that should you be in a position to host the tournament again, you certainly could do so.
No foul, no foul. Well done, Jack.
Headed out of play by Bradford. Asqueta on the Milwaukee throw-in.
Don't let them slip. See it, Brian.
And Sulic lost his footing. Right back near side was Lochzauer. Surrounded by white jerseys. Asqueta will play it back. Able to elude Lauba, who was oncoming. Swat Sulic. Lennis showing some speed. Sean Reynolds. He last year was a first-team all-conference selection. One of the team captains yet again. Able to score his first goal on Tuesday since last September the 16th when he scored a goal, and then at conference foe Belmont. They've since gone their separate direction. Holmes getting the feed right back from Reynolds, and before that could happen, the offside flag went up here against the Panthers. That was a stat that was off the charts against the Panthers a couple of games ago. Upwards of 9 offside calls against in that Northern Kentucky matchup. And a single offside call against the Panthers on Tuesday. The ball's going to be put back into play here by Nikola Kovacic. He was the primary goalkeeper last year, a transfer from University of Northwestern Ohio. Last year, a 76 save percentage. He also had a 1.14 goals against average. 13 games, 13 starts, couple of shutouts. But going to have the goal support. Last year's team scored 26 times, the most goals that a Green Bay team has scored since scoring 26 in 2014. Allowed 23, and he will make the most of a number of opportunities, about 10 shots per game. Holmes. Bang right there for Green Bay. Sean Holmes will, well, he's going to pass it off to be thrown in. Now, so he gets set up. Kay.
Scan, top.
Kovacic. Looking downfield, but instead will slow up. And he will disperse. Conway put up top for the Panthers. Off the short pass from Byrez, the junior from Winnipeg, Manitoba. He is back now for his 3rd season with the Phoenix. He has some international experience representing Canada at the U15, U17, and U20 levels. Bourgeois. Slowing down here, trying to fake out Vuklitinovic, who then steps up and takes it away. And then he was getting held on the backside. A foul goes against Bourgeois, and those two can tangle up for a second. And Bourgeois will walk away as Latinovic looking to put it back into play, but being told to back up. And puts it back into play here to Sorensen. As he's expecting any rivalry matchup, fouls, yellow cards. Maybe aplenty when these teams get together. Last year there were 31 combined fouls. There were 4 yellow cards, 3 going against the Phoenix. Comes with the emotion of these matchups. Certainly you can say the same thing about a Milwaukee-Marquette battle for the Milwaukee Cup. They just played for the 46th Milwaukee Cup back on September the 18th. Panthers have now won back-to-back years, winning this year 2-1, but to Milwaukee's credit, again, you tend to see emotions get the better of teams, maybe at times. The energy level, all-time high, but in that game, Panthers were able to play within themselves and play controlled soccer, only committing 4 called fouls. It's got to be some kind of a low, unofficially a low in a matchup between Milwaukee and Marquette. Lorenzen, already been 5 fouls against Green Bay, only 1 so far against the Panthers. Mansa, Bradford, around Sulic. Smith, going to go across the way, but he's going to be picked off. Oncoming, Vane got a piece of it. And a Phoenix foul. The foul on K. Now look at this trip up, you're going to see K looking for a yellow to no avail. Now look at it as he was making his way onto the attacking end. Oncoming and clipping ankles, Vang and K. And now a Panther free kick. Vuklitinovic in the rain. That's going to go wide off of Phoenix. Corner kick here for the Panthers, which will be their now first of this matchup. It will be their 38th of the year, 6th best in the league out of 9. So a Milwaukee corner kick here for Francesco Saporito. Both teams had 3 corner kicks in the Wayne Cup matchup between NIU and the Panthers on Tuesday. Far post. And K with a goal kick here for Green Bay. We're in the 23rd minute. Messy night for this Chancellor's Cup matchup. Talking about the history, and you saw the graphic earlier, they've been playing since 1975, and Milwaukee leads with 25 victories to 17 defeats and 5 ties, although Green Bay's gone 6-2-2 against the Panthers since 2008. And I'll tell you all about the overtime games. There have been so many memorable moments, especially in the last decade or so, between these two rivals, separated by 90 minutes, a couple hours, give or take, based on latest construction projects on 43, but they're neighbors. And Coach Kelderman talked about just how special this matchup is. These players know each other, whether it be playing against each other, playing with each other at the club, high school level. Bragging rights state-wise as far as the Horizon League goes. On top of the fact you're playing for some nice hardware, that traveling Chancellor's Cup trophy. But again, number of overtime games. Last year was Audie Jepson who had the game winner in the 95th minute, Zlachzauer, and he was able to come through with one of his 2 assists. But you go through time, and going back to 2010, there have been some unbelievable finishes. Expect nothing less when these two teams get together. In fact, if the game doesn't go to overtime, that's newsworthy in and of itself as of late. K. Conway. Off the takeaway. Byres on the pass. Vang off the slide by Saporito. Keeps the attack alive. K. On back. And Latinovic. As the Panthers able to work the ball around and get a number of players touches. Vuklitinovic, Saporito, with Bourgeois on the backside. Kelderman, he goes downfield for the Panthers after Kay got tangled up. Conway, and it's Adam Mansa off the head of Smith. Lennis. Husini hit it right back into the Panther attack and in out of bounds. It belongs to Green Bay. Last time the Panthers beat Green Bay was October 22nd of 2016 up there at the old Santaga Stadium, 1-0. First time the Panthers had possession of the cup since 2012. Here's Bradford. And taken away here by Asqueta. Sulic. Here's Conway. Ahead to Holmes. Sean Holmes on the cross. In front. Deflected off Conway and Sulic. Not done yet. Smith able to head it right back out. But it's Latinovic. Holmes lost his footing. Ball rolls out. Cameron Williams. First sub of the game in for the Panthers. The freshman from Brown Deer High School started on Tuesday. And I'm starting him playing 67 minutes, took a couple of shots, added 1 assist. Now back in 2014 between these two teams, in Green Bay, a 2-2 tie in double overtime. 2013 in Milwaukee was a 2-1 Green Bay win in double overtime, in which the game-winning goal was an own goal in the 106th minute for the Phoenix victory. You go on and look at 2012. Teams meeting in Green Bay, a 2-2 tie in which Green Bay was up 2-0. Panthers took 34 shots. Both teams a 9 on goal. 2011, here it was a Panther 3-2 double overtime win in which the game-winning goal in the 110th minute scored by Cody Banks with 7 seconds left in that second OT. Kovecic got a piece of it. Conway, as Kay trying to get a call to no avail. Both teams keep playing. And Bairez able to clear upfield with Bourgeois. And then in 2010, it was a 2-1 Green Bay victory in double overtime, which J.C. Banks had the game winner in the 109th minute. Remember, Coach Kelderman was on the other end of that Cody Banks goal with 7 seconds left in the second OT back in 2011. Holmes. After Nikola Kovecic came out to challenge. It's going to be a goal kick here for the Phoenix. 28th minute and no score in this battle for the Chancellor's Cup. But everybody knew it was going to be a battle to begin with. And now you start throwing in the weather elements, factors. For the Panthers trying to avoid the rain, they have not been able to the last couple of games. Battled these type of conditions at Northern Kentucky last week, and didn't rain during the game, but certainly slick conditions against NIU on Tuesday. Vang. Off the turn by Zlachzauer. Out of the speed, gets a step up, takes a shot, and Lorenzen comes through with a save. Back out with Bradford. Vang had it redirected. Lennis, Bradford, Vang, oncoming Saporito, left at midfield for Mansa. Vang, foul here against Williams. And Mansa will play it back. Getting Smith involved, Lauba. Oh, the Phoenix, we mentioned 15 of 21 players are back who were part of that conference championship team last year. They did lose 2 out of their top 3 point getters. Audie Jepson, as mentioned, be one of those players who was the Horizon League Offensive Player of the Year on top of the aforementioned first-team All-Conference and first-team All-Region accolades that came his direction. Marcos Bautista also did not come back. He would have been, or was a sophomore. Hit a couple of goals and 4 assists last year in a year which was second-team All-Conference, and so Zlachzauer came back as the team's top returnee. Hit 5 goals, 8 assists, and 3 game winners last season. already with 3 game winners on this campaign. Of his 4 goals, besides 3 of them being game winners, 3 of them have also been off penalty kicks. 3 for 3 on penalty kicks. Mansa. Bairez. Ahead forwards, Lochzauer knocked away by Lorenzen. Reynolds. Now the Panthers trying to respond with Holmes on the pass. Latinovic. And now Squeda off that cross. And it's Lauba. Injury stoppage here for the Phoenix. Smith, the injured player. Ian Smith, the junior out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Been a regular in the last couple of years. As he gets back up. Drop ball here to Conway, who's going to play it back here to Kovacic. So far, a matchup that has seen just 1 substitution. That belongs to the Panthers with Williams subbing in. But next break with possession, the Phoenix about to make a change to their 11. Vang outside with Kareem Lauba. Vang. Here's Bradford. He's got friends and family in the stands. Nice physical presence. Bradford knocking it down. But Bradford at 6'4", 190. He factors and tends to make his presence be felt on both ends. Saporito around Smith. Now Conway. Lochzauer. Passing to Bradford. On coming is Williams. Tough matchup there as Williams bouncing off Bradford. Turns the corner, sends it across, and Lorenzen will put off a hop. No chance that time for Joey Bourgeois. No score here in the 32nd minute. Glad every long as the rain starts to lighten up a little bit. Engelman Stadium, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, site for Horizon League men's soccer here on ESPN+. Lennis. And Vang here with Mansa. Short pass, left back, this by Smith. Bourgeois, Smith, and Lennis coming near side. Lochzauer. Smith. Nice move, leaving it off, trying to find Bourgeois, but picked off. Fine job defensively now on the counter. It was Vuk Latinovic who helped create this turnover. Williams against Smith, leaving it off. Asqueda. And Saporito, one touch back near his side, goes out of bounds. Well, celebrating 40 years of competition, the Horizon League is comprised of 10 public and private institutions, 7 of which are located in the top 36 media markets. Additionally, over 600 events appear annually on ESPN3 and ESPN+. To learn more, visit HorizonLeague.com. Couple of changes. Ruble Omar subbing into the Phoenix lineup along with Bernard Asibi Rule, a sophomore from Highland Park, Minnesota. Transfer from Marquette, he's a sophomore. Played a game last year. Tuesday he played 48 minutes against Purdue Fort Wayne. Lennis trying to find Asibi Rule. In the case of Omar, the junior out of Madison West High School, he's got speed. It's pretty good height. He's playing his 7th game, making now his 4th appearance off the bench. Last appeared on September the 22nd against IUPUI. Asqueda. Williams able to stick with it, going right back to Asqueda. Off the left foot. Bradford. At the flex up off of Sean Holmes. And a push here by Asqueda, able to get away with it after Zlagzauer got knocked down. Smith. Looking outside with Bernard Asibi Rule. Smith. His passing lane closed up, and so instead he will pass it to the near side and connect with Bradford, who goes downfield for Zlagzauer. But now Sorensen looking to slow him down. Off Green Bay. Phoenix making a substitution with Kevin Sella into the lineup, the freshman from Greece. He has started 2 out of the last 3 games, but that includes Tuesday, coming off the bench in this one. Sella has 1 goal and an assist. His goal came against Western Michigan. His helper came against Northern Illinois, a team that the Phoenix beat 3-2 back on the 27th of August. Kelderman making sure that Lorenzen has all kinds of time to play this ball. As Omar came out to put the pressure on. Lorenzen able to get rid of it. Williams. Mansa. Being flanked by a couple of Panthers, including Kay. Looking for Zlagzauer, knocked into the Panther bench area by Latinovic. Phoenix throw in. This for Bradford. Shots right now at 6-3 Panthers, 4-1 Milwaukee in shots on goal. 2-1 Green Bay in corner kicks. They also find themselves up 7-2 in fouls. Bradford. Omar right back to Bradford. Mansa. Sella. Lead feed with that speed. Bernard Asibi Rule picked up by Lorenz, and they also had Roble Omar also with that size. We talked about another player that stands tall in this matchup. Now, last year, Freddie Lorenzo, when these teams got together, played all 94 minutes and 45 seconds. Allowed a couple of goals, only had to make 1 save. Shots were in favor of the Panthers at 19-10. 8-3 in shots on goal. Husseini. And that got away from Sella. Over with Williams. Into the corner. This ball is going to roll out of play. And again, the Phoenix will throw it in this time with Bradford. Stay tuned. Coming up at halftime, we'll check in with Panthers head coach Chris Kelderman. Latest men's soccer edition of the Panther Insider. On top of talking about the loss against NIU on Tuesday, we'll talk about what makes this matchup so special. And again, he's seen it from both sides. Williams. Here comes Holmes, sending it across. Out it comes right back toward Holmes, but Bradford got to it first. Takes a curve and it stays in bounds. Ball was played by Roble Omar. Panthers, though, trying to go right back to Asqueda. Not much on the kick. Zlagzauer stepping up, gets by Latinovic. Now looking to fake out Squid and does. Squid, though, able to get right back into the mix. Vang. And take it away here by Holmes. Coach Kellerman telling his team, hey, just relax. Right now rushing and a couple of turnovers. Looking to settle down and play within themselves. Now he's been pleased with the way his team has played lately especially, but one of the things he's talked about is just playing within themselves. Got off to some nice starts. Just doing what we do is the way he phrased it. And that's the progress. You know, mentioned unbeaten 4 of the last 5. 3 wins, a loss, a tie. In this stretch, the last 5 games, all following what was a 2-2 start to the season. And doing so with a younger roster. 2,200 classmen on the active roster right now for the Panthers. Clay Brown subs into the Green Bay lineup. The freshman from Canada. He too has started 2 out of the last 3 games, including on Tuesday, but off the bench in this one, replacing Zlagzauer. Brown has 1 goal, which came against Northern Kentucky in the 2-1 loss on September the 15th. Looks like Adam Mansa is shook up. He's been walked over to the sideline. The clock is stopped here in the 40th minute, and he'll get some athletic training attention. So again, Mansa, the shook up Phoenix player. Right now waiting to see if Green Bay makes a substitution or not. But again, looking at the sophomore from Denmark. He did not play on Tuesday, and he's logged some serious time the last couple of years. In fact, last year he logged over 1,600 minutes. A regular in the starting lineup. He was part of the Horizon League All-Tournament team during that run into the tournament final against UIC from Chicago. So Mansell will leave, and we'll get medical attention here in the 40th minute. And a substitute is coming. And that's going to be JT Spath. He's a JUCO transfer a couple of years back. Won a NJCAA National Championship in 2015. And now the Panthers make a substitution with Jackson Dryden into the game. And the freshman made a 7th match appearance, will be taking the spot of Evan Conway. All right, 40th minute, no score in this Chancellor's Cup matchup. Green Bay with possession of the cup after the Panthers had the possession of the cup the year before. What happens this year? If there's a tie, the cup stays in the possession of the Phoenix. That's off of Bairez. Upfield for Sella. Again, off the run with Bernard Asibi-Rule. And the Phoenix throw in for Husseini. He last year was a second-team all-conference honoree. Had a goal that tied the game against Cleveland State in mid-October. Had an assist against Wright State. Spath. And Bradford with Vane. Spath on the one touch. Going right back to Omar, but instead, Saporito into the midfield. Downwind Dryden. Ball played instead by Bairez. Good speed by Saporito, showing some energy here in the last 5 minutes of this first half. Sean Holmes. Talked about him on Tuesday, what he's been able to do in the last week or so with a goal at Marquette, a couple of assists at Northern Kentucky. Now with 2 goals, 2 assists on the year after he only had 1 assist in 29 career games entering this season. And then some. Having overcome injury. Getting back to nearly 100%, and doing so, the points have followed, especially in this last week. He's playing with a lot more confidence. Well, no matter where you go, you can take the Horizon League with you, and you can find the latest scores, stats, standings, and behind-the-scenes action at HorizonLeague.com. And at Horizon League on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Horizon League, a lot going on in men's soccer today, including last we heard UIC was losing early at Cleveland State, 2-0. Vikings coming into play at 0-2-1. UIC 3-0. UIC and Wright State the only teams right now undefeated in conference play. Wright State at 2-0, and I was going to their matchup at Detroit Mercy. That game has gone final, and Wright State staying perfect in league play, knocking off the Titans 4-2. Also, a final IUPUI over Oakland in double overtime, 1-0. So IUPUI now at 2-2. Oakland 1-2 in the conference. That UIC team receiving votes along with Wright State in the top 25 national rankings. So that's a big result right now taking place right in the heart of downtown Cleveland, Ohio. Latinovic. Williams. We're going to send it across as it deflects off of JT Spath. Corner kick here for Milwaukee as we approach 2 minutes left in this first half. This will be corner kick number 2 for Milwaukee, taken by Saporito. The free kick specialist, senior from Canada, trying to find Kelderman. Out it comes. Squeda able to win that battle in that foot race with Bernard Asibi Rule. Had the better angle though. Saporito. Back up top. Shot by Latinovic on the dive. It's covered up here by Nikola Kovacic. Kovacic with 5 saves now to his credit. As he puts it back into play. At the flex off the head of Kevin Sella. Headed back by Reynolds. Lorenzen able to pick it up before Roble Omar could play the ball. Mentioned Omar playing for the first time in a week's time. Has a couple of shots on goal to his season totals. A couple of yellow cards as well. He played 37 minutes in that matchup against IUPUI at home last week. In fact, the last 4 games Green Bay has been home. They're on the road for the first time since September 8th. Well, going down for the Phoenix, Bernard Asibi Rule. Roble Omar. And a goal kick awarded as the Panthers make a substitution with Alex Sykes. He has scored a couple of times this season. Now as he comes in, replacing Sean Holmes. Final seconds will tick off. There'll be all she writes here in this first half of the Chancellor's Cup annual battle between Green Bay and Milwaukee. No score. Stay tuned when we come back. Our halftime program, which will include the latest men's soccer Panther Insider with Panthers head coach Chris Kelderman. You're tuning in to Horizon League Men's Soccer on ESPN+. Still lightly raining here in Milwaukee. We have no score about to begin half number 2 at Engelman Stadium. A battle for the Chancellor's Cup. Third and final traveling trophy matchup for the Panthers, who won the Milwaukee Cup. They retained possession of the Milwaukee Cup with their win against Marquette on September the 18th, and then they lost their possession of the Lawang Cup in their battle against Northern Illinois on Tuesday. Now look at a reclaim possession of the Chancellor's Cup. We'll see what the second half has in store. We've already seen, at least for Green Bay, at one point they lost Adam Mansa to injury in that first half. We'll see if he's able to return. But his spot was taken up by JT Spath. Again, shots are 7-3 in favor of Milwaukee. 5-1 Panthers in shots on goal, and individually in the way with 2 shots each. Vuk Latinovic, Swat Sulic, and Josh Kay. Tomer Zlakzauer with a couple of shots, one of which on goal to lead the Phoenix attack. Green Bay will get the second half started. Kevin Sella At midfield, as we mentioned, 6 of the last 8 between these two have gone to overtime. 5 of those 6 to double overtime. Well, this followed that same pattern. Boy, you talk about quality scoring opportunities. Dangerous chances just haven't really been there so far for either side. Holmes. And Conway getting the start here in this second half. Got tangled up there with Bradford, tugging to the jersey for each. Out there for the Panthers. Number 24, Davis Green. Davis Green playing for only the 5th time this season. Get the start here in this second half. A freshman from Sun Prairie who was a first-team All-Conference selection as a senior, a 3-time All-Conference performer. Go for that long ball and trying to leave it right back out with Kareem Lauba. Now can the Panthers counter? Kay will leave it back. Vukletinovich able to spread the field here in the 47th minute. Headed back. And Kelderman sent away again. Again, JT Spath, part of that back line. Mentioned bringing that winning pedigree with him, having won a junior college national championship. And Green getting knocked down. A foul here against Husseini. So again, Davis Green, one of the 11 freshmen of the active Panther roster, seeing some playing time. The Panthers now played a total now of 15 players in this matchup. Free kick here for Vukletinovich. Sophomore to Brookfield, Wisconsin. Well, spent 3 years playing in Serbia. Kay. So what he was able to do in that first half by taking a couple of shots. Saporito. Asqueda right back to Saporito. Has Sulic downfield, but then on the turnaround, Bradford commits the foul, knocks Holmes down to the turf. And a stoppage here, and Holmes trying to say he's all right, but they stop the clock nonetheless to allow him time to get back to his feet. And again, he appears to be already to walk it off following this collision with Bradford. So Holmes gonna walk it off the pane. Here comes the Panther free kick taken by Swat Sulic. Off that left foot, Sulic headed by Sella, out of play. Corner kick Panthers. This will be corner kick number 3. Each team had 2 corners in that first half, but mentioned dangerous scoring chances haven't been there just yet. Panthers trying to change that here with Francisco Saporito. Going far post for Kelderman. And so we will see the ball put back into play here by the Phoenix. And not a lot to talk about so far in this one. Not a lot has happened as far as quality chances go.
Seconds, Green. Intelligent, Joey. Not so high. Not so high, Kevin.
Kovacic. And again, we've talked about the history between these two teams. Here's Holmes to Kay. Leaving it back. Conway gets behind the ball. Evan Conway leaving it back out for Davis Green. He ran into Kareem Lauba and then Bradford. And a throw in here for Green. And again, got Husseini This time knocking down Saporito. So a couple of play-ons. First you had Bradford, now you have Husini. This one off a green. Another Panther throw it. No, but we talked about the history between these two teams, some of the thrilling finishes. Golden goals, some of those games, kind of the same thing where it's kind of been more of a feeling out process, kind of going back and forth, but not generating a ton of scoring opportunities, but capitalizing on one of those last-second efforts that have made some otherwise uneventful games turn into memorable ones in the end. And boy, you go back. One of the better games between these two teams occurring back in 2011. That 3-2 Milwaukee win in double overtime. And again, it was Cody Banks with 7 seconds left in the second overtime coming through with a heck of a finish. Kind of came out of nowhere. Kay. Conway. And now Vuklitinovic with Holmes. Saporito. Got some spacing to work with. That's knocked away by Kovacic. Francisco Saporito had that spacing, realized it, able to wind up, put a nice shot on target. One of the better chances so far of this game, and now we have a stoppage here, and I think the official about to have a conversation with Nikola Kovacic after he was hanging on to the ball, as opposed to sending into the corner for the Panthers to set up the corner kick. So another Panther corner, and Saporito bouncing by to Kelderman off the knee as he went for the attempt. Got a piece of Bairez, and he is shook up. Everybody all right? But a Panther foul, which is their fourth now in the matchup. There have been 13 combined fouls, but no yellows to talk about yet in this matchup. Panthers came in with 14 yellow cards, 17 against Green Bay. That's the second most. Beyond Wright State, who's been issued 19. That physicality, though, tell you for what it's worth, and you look at two teams, and both are getting results. Wright State and Green Bay, for that matter. Bourgeois, deflected by Lorenzen. Joey Bourgeois getting the feed from Kevin Sella. Lorenzen able to redirect at the last moment. A corner kick here for Green Bay, trying to quickly put it back into play and catch the Panthers. Setting up. Lauba. That comes across. And Lochzauer, Lauba, and a goal kick here for the Panthers. So one of the better sequences we've seen so far for Green Bay, and it we provided a goal for Joey Bourgeois. He's playing in his fifth game at his third start. The freshman from Canada, his first appearance on September the 2nd at Eastern Illinois. And he was active early. Bourgeois up for Conway. Kay, Lauba. Left back here for Davis Green. And that's the lone Panther change here to start this second half as they try to get off to another quick start. They've had some nice starts to start games. In some cases, the energy out of halftime. Bradford. And Smith on over with Lennis. The one touch here from Husini. Kay on the chase. That deflected just off the cleat of Latinovic. Served up here by Sella. And Bourgeois, Lorenzen, those two collide. Stoppage here. Lorenzen shook up and a yellow card handed out to Joey Bourgeois. 18th Green Bay yellow card, that's the second most in the league. So they have the second most yellow cards of anybody besides Wright State. And Bourgeois That foul here on Lorenzen, and Lorenzen getting medical attention.
No fouls! Keep going here, Joey. Keep going here, Joey.
Here in the 54th minute. Now, there's something to be said, though. We talk about all the yellow cards that Green Bay has seen this season. Same thing with Wright State, and yet they're winning games. Wright State is 3-0 now with their victory today, and knocking off Detroit Mercy 4-2. And Phoenix, if they can pick up a victory here, would find themselves in a tie for a second. And with UIC, who has gone down to defeat UIC, losing to Cleveland State tonight. That's one of the only eye-opening results, I guess, in conference play outside of IUPUI beating Oakland in double overtime. IUPUI, though, much improved in the men's side from at a year one in the Horizon League. Chris Kelderman coming out and checking out his keeper. And Lorenzen apparently checks out with the athletic training staff, and he will stay in the game. He's been the only goalkeeper the Panthers have used so far this season. Panthers have a total of 4 goalkeepers on the roster. A couple of sophomores, another freshman. Outside of Freddie Lorenzen, who was of sophomore status. Became the first Panther goalkeeper with shutouts in back-to-back openers since 2003-2004. And is the Horizon League Defensive Player of the Week. First time this year, 4th time in his career. The league record is 8. Something that's within reach as he goes forward in his collegiate career. Latinovic. Left for Saporito. Going across the way for Green. That was headed, though, way by Husini. And Vane gets checked at. Sella gets taken down off the tackle by Saporito. Latinovic. Swatsulic off the cleat of Lennis. Smith now on the Green Bay counter, but a slip and slide resulting in the Phoenix turnover. Lagzauer wiping out on the outside. Reynolds. He gets tripped up in a foul here that's going to go against Bourgeois. He already has 1 yellow card. Now the official's telling him that's enough. So he picks up a yellow already, and being told by his coaching staff that you got to be intelligent, can't be selfish right now. And you're certainly going to be a target going forward, being watched closely going forward. And off that tackle, here comes a free kick for Vuklitinovic. Last year's second-team all-conference selection part of the Horizon League all-freshman team. Conway. And a corner kick for the Panthers, which will be their now 5th corner of this matchup. 3rd now here in this second half. Saporito. Had a couple of guys going up, including Latinovic. Green able to keep it in bounds. Lands at the feet of Sella. Able to maintain his footing. He's got options up this right side. We'll leave it for Kareem Lauba. Right back to Bourgeois. Down he goes. Kelderman coming across. Defense will set up here for the Panthers off the Phoenix throw-in. But an effective counter there with 3 on the move, including Kareem Lauba on the right side on that wing to get that lead feed. And he has a goal against NIU back on August the 27th. He's taken 11 shots, 6 of which on goal this season. Conway right back to Bradford. Easy takeaway now, Lauba. Husini. Getting a touch here for Bradford. He'll serve it downfield for Kareem Lauba. Good pressure from the backside. Ball stays here with the Phoenix, will throw it in, and it's going to be left back for Husini. Bradford. And we'll get across midfield. Conway oncoming. Asqueda. Downfield for Holmes. Instead, Byrez will leave it here for Green Bay. We'll leave it off. Husseini here in the 58th minute. Holmes playing up top for Milwaukee. Left outside for Bradford. And a Panther foul. It's going to go against Saporito. The 5th foul now against Milwaukee, 11 against Green Bay at this point in the game. Lockzauer will give way, and it's going to be Bradford who puts it back into play. Lockzauer marked up on by Sulic, and Bourgeois right back to Lockzauer with lift coming across the way. Husseini oncoming. He had Holmes. Instead, Ian Smith. JT Spath on back. Smith. Conway put up top for the Panthers. Bourgeois playing it back, and again, see Smith kind of bunched on that far side. Lockzauer trying to find some space and weaves his way around Francisco Saporito. And Lockzauer will leave it up top, knocked away. Smith out of the back here with Byrez. He's got some room to work with. Oncoming though quickly, and punch pretty good pressure was K. K trying to create turnover, and in doing so, he got knocked into one of his teammates, in this case Holmes. Everybody appears to be all right, but you see K, good pressure, got a piece of it, and then Holmes a little hip check. K got a piece after Byrez committed the Phoenix foul. Kovacic here in the 60th minute. No score, but things have picked up a little bit here in this second half. A couple of more better quality scoring opportunities on both ends. And no surprise with the rain having subsided, the physicality has certainly picked up. Been one yellow card so far in this second half. Husseini against K. And Kareem Lauba. Sella. And Kevin Sella breaking to the outside, getting around Green. And Lauba came over to help out. Green got held in a foul here. It's going to go against Kareem Lauba. 12 fouls now against the Phoenix. That makes a total of 5 in this second half. Lorenzen. Right now, Coach Bonomo yelling to his team, don't foul. Finally, there's some stability at that position for Green Bay. That's been a big issue in trying to build a winner. As Brian Vang subs into the Phoenix lineup for the Panthers, Jackson Dryden. When Coach Bonomo was hired, he was the 3rd coach in 3 years and the 5th coach in 6 years for the program. They were going through coaches like an encyclopedia. Encyclopedia worth of names. But he came on as the 11th head coach in the program's history. History dates back to 1969, but finally some stability there. Back for what is his now 4th season at the helm. The 2017 Horizon League Coach of the Year. Top assistant at Cincinnati prior to, and before that was a head coach of Division II Assumption College. But Coach Kelderman among those in that list of 5 coaches in 6 years after he was there in 2011, and he certainly was able to do some things with that team when it comes to not only wins, but also Horizon League tournament appearance, stuff that the program not experienced or accomplished in some time. Very successful year. Alex Sykes here to the Panther lineup. But Coach Kelderman, 11 victories, 7 defeats, 1 tie, went 5-3 in conference play in that one season with the Phoenix. Vukletinovich. And left back here for Kovacic. I mentioned Kovacic. Times has been splitting some time with Jamison Yoder, but it is his game right now, and again, he has been the goalkeeper utilized. Last number of starts, played all 90 minutes on Tuesday as well against Purdue Fort Wayne. Andre Bairez. On the takeaway by Asqueta. Gives it right back. Lennis going far side, trying to find Lagzauer, but Asqueta will head it back toward Lorenzo. Was able to dive and keep that ball from crossing the end line. Shots were 8-4 Panthers, 6-2 in shots on goal. Difference here in this second half, the Panthers have taken one shot, they've given up one. Seems like a whole heck of a lot more has happened. It seems like in the second half than maybe what we saw at times in the first, but chances have been hard to come by. Quality chances. Asqueta. And Conway getting slowed up again, and Brady Lennis on the Green Bay takeaway. Knocked out. That by Vukletinovich. Clay Brown will sub back into the Phoenix lineup. Brown played 6 first half minutes. He'll take the spot of Kareem Lauba. Spath. Now back here is Reynolds. Lorenzen. So far credited with a couple of saves.
Stay dialed in, Green. Stay dialed in. Seconds.
But now here both teams just trying to find that energy. Keep pushing forward. Locked in a 0-0 battle. There have been some lulls. Been up and down the field, back and forth. Right now, just trying to generate some energy. And Husseini following the slide. Oh, deflected off the knees, Bourgeois. Lofty throwing off the head of Husseini into the open field. One being sent across. That by Sulic, connecting with Asqueta. Swat Sulic. Another Green Bay throw in here for Husseini. So far here in conference play, talk about what Green Bay has done against Cleveland State. Jumped in front. Game was then tied before they came away with a Joey Bourgeois goal in the 52nd minute, which proved to be the difference maker. Against Northern Kentucky, it was this way. It was 0-0, and then all of a sudden, Clay Brown came on, scored a goal in the 72nd minute to give the Phoenix the lead, only to watch Northern Kentucky tie the game in the 73rd minute and eventually win the game with a goal in the 89th minute. Against IUPUI, it took until the 109th minute for Lagzauer to score the golden goal. This type of game is nothing new for Green Bay. They were just in this position again on Tuesday. It was 0-0. Then Purdue Fort Wayne was able to score in the 77th minute. Latinovic. And Saporito, Asqueta. Reynolds. This will fly out of play. Now for the Panthers, maybe a little bit different because they've gotten off to some nice starts, especially lately during this stretch of being unbeaten in 4 of the last 5. They've been able to score first in a number of their games. In fact, 7 out of their Their first 9 games, they've been able to score first. While getting blocked on that windup by Dryden. Well, we've seen at least the last couple of games where the team's been up or been able to score quickly in the second half, trying to protect that 1-goal lead. That was off of Alex Sykes. Green goes back in the ball. Lifted there by Dryden. Kovacic. He's made 6 saves so far. His previous high was 5, so that's his best. And the redshirt junior, headed by Latinovic, Sykes. Alex Sykes will leave it back. Saporito. It was off Conway, but Husseini against Sykes. Gonna turn that corner and runs out of room. Off of Husseini, thrown here for the Panthers. 69th minute. That was Green on the pass, Sykes. Kovacic before Suljic could get a piece of it. No, the way history has gone, if you honestly think this game's going to be decided in regulation, you haven't been following Green Bay against Milwaukee. That's kind of the way things are panning out here in the 69th minute. Shots are hard to come by. It's kind of been back and forth, not in the shooting sense. If one team is able to find a goal, look out because the other team's bound to find the equalizer. That's been Green Bay against Milwaukee. Just is what it is. Able to avoid that overtime fate a couple of years ago.
No foul, no foul. 11 play. Way to work. Gotta get rid of it quicker. Get rid of it quicker.
Green. Deflected off of Saporito. Husseini, Conway, Saporito, and Vang. Bradford's been quite the presence in that back line. Yeah, Sella, Bourgeois, playing with the yellow. He's was issued the yellow here in the second half. Zlakzauer. On the speed is Zlakzauer. Throwing the play on. After Green was trying to turn that corner. Zlakzauer gets tripped up atop the box. They say play on. Back out toward Conway. Conway leaving it back on the outside. Swat Suljic. On the centering path for Saporito, the one touch. And coming across, here's Green. Davis Green along with Vuk Latinovic. Francisco Saporito. Able to angle back in. Off the pass that finds Dryden. Green. Kovacic able to bring it in. He'll put it back into play. Making sure all kinds of pressure retreats downfield before he disperses. On over with Bairez. That was taken away from Bourgeois. Latinovic. Even here for Saporito. Well inside of 20 minutes left here in regulation. Asqueda. Saporito, Latinovic. Oncoming is Vang. Latinovic. Good possession so far for the Panthers, but can they do something with it? Well, Sykes got knocked down. Play on. Bairez. And now Vang over with Bourgeois. Right now, Coach Kellerman upset with the play of Bourgeois, who's already received the yellow card, already been told to tone it down. Vang. Over again here with Husseini. Sykes coming over. Husseini on the near side will launch it upfield. It's going to be knocked down though by Reynolds. Saporito. Long run to the outside for Jackson Dryden. There with JT Spath, who. And now Saporito at Lennis. Bradford. Green Bay making a couple of substitutions. Dean Smith is back in. One of those players who makes his presence known in the field immediately, according to Coach Bonomo, that being Ian Smith, the junior midfielder. And Bernard Asibi-Rule also back in after he played about 12 first half minutes. Rules at a couple of goals. We mentioned a game winner against NIU, a goal against Western Illinois, but both of those goals coming back in August. Bourgeois with Conway oncoming. Again, these two teams battling for the Chancellor's Cup right now in the possession of Green Bay. If this game ends in a tie, Green Bay would maintain possession. Looking for Conway. And now Saporito. Green. Over again with Husseini. Upfield goes Lennis on the pass, but taken away. Trying to go upfield for Bernard Asibi-Rule. Latinovic. Leaving it for Saporito. Smith got a piece. Knocked down by Vang. Off the chest to Smith. Ian Smith. Again, leaving it for Bourgeois. Here against Green. Leaving it in front. Nobody there. And the Panthers able to clear. Kovacic. Bradford. Going to build the attack out of the back. Smith. Oncoming Saporito. 75th minute with no score. Panthers up 9-4 in shots, 6-2 in shots on goal. Going back to where the ball was Lennis, instead knocked out of the air, and the Panthers with Saporito out of the midfield. Kelderman. Reynolds. And Bourgeois playing up top for Green Bay. Oncoming, off the slip. Green going down, taken away here by Bernard Asibi-Rule. And now Bourgeois against Lorenzen. Looking to find the angle, takes the shot, trying to go far post, and he shanks it wide. Roble Omar into the Green Bay lineup. Holmes and Kay into the Panthers lineup here in the 76th minute. Boy, that was a golden opportunity that Bourgeois shanked wide. I'm going to go to the backside of Lorenzen. I'm going to take advantage of Davis Green losing his footing. And that was Bernard Asibi-Rule who was able to get to it. And right now, Bourgeois getting a breather now for the Phoenix. So he leads right now after what has been a couple of shots, a shot on goal and a yellow card, and he's at 63 minutes of duty. So find the stands. Squid on the Panther, throw it. Milwaukee coming in 5-3-1. Green Bay at 5-3-1. But as far as conference goes, Panthers 1-0-1. Phoenix at 2-1. A night in which first place UIC is no longer in first place. They lose to Cleveland State. Wright State now atop the standings alone at 3-0. An opportunity for these two teams to climb. Sulic off the hand of Kovacic in a corner here for the Panthers, which would be their sixth now of the matchup. This for Saporito. Going far side. I'll take away from Vang. He'll leave it over. There came Reynolds to knock it out of play. Throwing now for Husseini. Off Vang. Reynolds. Kovacic. He'll give it away. So throwing now here for Davis Green. Now into the corner with K. Stays in for Bernard Asibi Rule. Omar. Now K. I'm back with Reynolds. Time for Kelderman to pass. Get it right back. Green. Late whistle and foul here is going to go against Husseini. '79th minute. Vuklitinovic now with the Panther free kick. Still no score. Green Bay and Milwaukee. So Vuklitinovic trying it around Bernard Asibi Rule. Gets the bend. And it's going to be another corner kick here for the Panthers, who are looking for a foul in the box. And now they changed the call and call it a goal kick. Or did they call offside? It's going to be put back into play here by Nikola Kovacic. Now, I'm talking about Milwaukee and Green Bay, though, and the fact that right now these two teams are scoreless. You have to go back to 1999, the last time these two teams had a game that ended in a 0-0 draw. So take that for what it's worth going forward. That game was in Green Bay on October the 6th in double overtime. It's only happened once in Milwaukee, and that was back in 1979. So again, if you go by history, besides the fact that maybe destined for overtime, you also have a history that's not very strong when it comes to 0-0 finals. JT Spath. Bairez. 81st minute. Over with Sulic. Good battle here with Clay Brown, but it's going to be Brown's going to be awarded the throw-in. Over here with Brian Vang. Holmes oncoming. Vang. After you had the combination of Holmes and Sulic swarming toward the ball. K. And we'll get around Roble Omar. Vang. Husseini. Able to get around Green. Down went Latinovic. And the ball cleared by Saporito, but give it right back here. Bernard Asibi Rule. Off that turn to the end line, Reynolds. And a goal kick here for the Panthers. Rain still lightly falling here at Engelman Stadium. We have no score. 82nd minute. Shots are at 9-5 Panthers. But 2-2 for shots here in this second half. Shots on goal. 1-1 in this second half. 6-2 overall in favor of Milwaukee. Throwing for Davis Green. K. Gonna go back to Saporito, but a tough pass. Now the takeaway for Omar.
Let's help him. Let's help Robley, Bernard.
Robley Omar into the corner against Reynolds. In an outlet and was trying to work it to the outside for Bernard Asibirul as Lockzauer subs back in. As Lockzauer is coming in and taking the spot. That of Clay Brown. Well, in 2006, the Horizon League was an innovator as the first collegiate conference to launch a digital network. Today, Horizon League on ESPN3 and ESPN Plus offers fans over 600 live events. For the latest scheduled events, go to horizonleague.com. On a slide by Latinovic, knocked it away from Smith. Here comes Holmes to the outside against Bradford. Foul against Holmes. 84th minute. JT Spath on the Green Bay free kick here in the 84th. And now Robley Omar. Again, coming over did Sulic. Latinovic trying to get a piece. Now Kelderman. Looking outside with Conway. Off the Green Bay takeaway with Bairez. Over again with Lennis. On the outside, he had Saporito, but it's going to be Holmes. Conway. Right back here with Saporito. Across the way, Latinovic. Vuk. And K. Right back out to Saporito. Holmes. That got blocked. K right back to Holmes. Knocked off his possession. And now the turn. Here comes Green Bay on the counter. Robley Omar. To his right, he's got Bernard Asibirul. Trying to find a hole in this Panthers setup. Smith. Right back outside. We approach 5 minutes left here in regulation. K. As again, the rain starts to pick back up. Zauer with the cut for Green Bay. He'll take a shot. Redirected again by Lorenzen. Zauer with the look for the Phoenix. And now both Sella and Lauba back in for Green Bay. Williams and Connor Provin in for the Panthers. Check that. Dryden back in. So Williams and Dryden back in for Milwaukee. Corner sent away. Sella sent it in. So no Provin, who did play against NIU on Tuesday, played 8 minutes off the bench, one of the changes. Again, they'll see the Panthers play a total of 15. Another corner here for the Phoenix. Inside of 4 minutes left here in regulation. Kevin Sella. Sent away again. Staying with the Phoenix and a throw in here for JT Spath. And before he can throw it in, he's got to back up. Sella. Williams got a piece, but Vang. And we'll go wide. Husini. Splits a pair. Knocked away. That off of Bairez. And Vang on the turn. Sella. Knocked off his cleat by Saporito, and Latinovic on the backup. With lift. Conway 88th minute. Conway knocked away again by Byres. Back into the midfield. Reynolds. Lauba. On the run here by Ruble Omar. Kareem Lauba. Into the corner. Out of bounds, throwing Panthers. Davis Green. Conway. Instead, Husseini. K. That deflects off the head of Husseini. Right back into the midfield. Off the play by Sella. Lead feed. Trying to find Lockzauer, but picked up by Lorenzo. Quickly gets rid of it here in the 88th minute. Panthers looking for another push. Asqueda. And now Smith. Down to 2 minutes left. It's Lockzauer against Kelderman. Smith. Headed back out. Off Vang. And now Williams will get back as Vang passes off to Smith. Less than 90 seconds left in regulation. That was taken away from Husseini. K.
Let's go, Robley. Let's go. Go, Robbie, go.
Saporito. Green. We're down to a minute left. Saporito. And now on the run made here by Sella. Finds some spacing. He'll take a shot, and that's going to lift high and wide. Some of his teammates not happy with Kevin Sella, feeling that he should have passed it up as opposed to trying to take that shot from a good distance. Had a couple of options. And Lorenzen. 25 seconds left here in the second half of play, and go figure. These teams look like they're destined for overtime for the 7th time in the last 9 meetings. Williams, can he change that? Goal kick, overtime again for Milwaukee and Green Bay. Scoreless in this one in a battle for the Chancellor's Cup. You're tuning in to Horizon League Men's Soccer on ESPN+. Hey Seth, I'll read that last ad during this break too. Let's get it in. Better be a goal. Bonus soccer on this Saturday night at Engelman Stadium in Milwaukee. We have no score between Green Bay and Milwaukee in this battle for the Chancellor's Cup. And for the Phoenix, about to play their 3rd overtime game of the year. They had a tie against Hartford in their season opener, 1-1 on August the 24th. They won 1-0 in double overtime at home against IUPUI on September the 22nd. For Milwaukee, this is their 2nd overtime game. Their first was a 1-1 tie against Cleveland State on the 15th of September. You see the rain picking up. No surprise between these two that overtime a necessity. 7th time in the last 9 meetings overtime needed between these two. And 5 of those 6 overtime games has gone to double overtime. And in 4 of those 6 overtime games, there has been a winner. Last year's Green Bay in overtime, they scored Audie Jepson to the 95th minute after the Panthers tied the game with 8 seconds left in regulation. 2014, 2-2 tie in double overtime. 2013, Green Bay won in double overtime. 2012, a 2-2 tie in double overtime. 2011, the Panthers won 3-2 in double overtime on a goal by Cody Banks with 7 seconds left in the second OT. And then in 2010, it was a 2-1 Green Bay double overtime win. J.C. Banks in the 109th minute, the difference maker. We'll see what this one has. If it stays tied, the cup stays with the Phoenix. We mentioned kind of an oddity. Only 2 times in the history between these two teams has been a 0-0 final. The last time occurring in 1999, and the first time occurring way back in 1979. Want to talk about an oddity? Both of those games, October 6th. 20 years apart. Can't make this stuff up. We also can't make up that each year the Horizon League student athletes are involved in hundreds of service and outreach programs. That includes a league-wide involvement with Special Olympics, the world's largest sports organization for people with intellectual disabilities. You have the One Love Foundation, which focuses on ending relationship violence, and Team Impact, which pairs chronically ill children with college teams. To learn more, search hashtag HLCares or visit HorizonLeague.com. Only game going on around the Horizon League. Everything else has gone final. Wright State over Detroit Mercy. IUPUI over Oakland in double overtime. Cleveland State upsets UIC. Shots right now, 9-7 Panthers. 6-3 Milwaukee in shots on goal. Only 4 shots for Green Bay in the second half to the Panthers 2. 6-5 Milwaukee in corner kicks. 15-8 Green Bay in fouls. 2-1 Milwaukee in offside calls. There was 1 yellow card that was given. That's to Joey Bourgeois in the 54th minute. Panthers have played 15. Green Bay has played a total of 16. Nikola Kovacic with 6 saves. Freddie Lorenzen has made a total of 3. Again, regardless of what happens in this one, Wright State will be in first place at night's end by themselves, but Green Bay with a win can move into a tie for second with UIC. Milwaukee with an opportunity to move up the ladder as well. They came into play in 4th. Both teams at 5-3-1 overall, but Green Bay's 2-1 in the conference. Panthers were 1-0-1. There's a look at Evan Conway. Might he play the role of hero? Last year when these teams got together, he set up Jonathan Stadler for the equalizer. So many stories between these two teams as far as memorable finishes go. And so many names that may have had otherwise quiet careers that are now forever remembered because they maybe came through with a golden goal or a game winner in this in-state battle. Looking for a golden goal, first overtime. Bourgeois back into the field of play for the Phoenix after he got a breather to end regulation. Continue to rain heavily right now here at Engelman Stadium. We're underway in this first OT. Out there since halftime, Davis Green. So Bourgeois plays up top for the Phoenix. Looking for Bourgeois, but Kelderman going down, able to kick the ball to bounce. Bradford. Vang. Here's Lauba. I'm back with Husseini. Smith and Vang. Smith on the turn here with now Sella just outside the 18. Lauba into the corner, looking to send it across. That was Lagzauer being the closest Phoenix. Ball rolls out of bounds, and Panthers will throw it in. When this one is all said and done, Panthers play again Wednesday. Getting the stretch of 3 straight on the road. They'll be at Wisconsin. And at IUPUI and at UIC. Won't be here again until October 20th against Oakland. First of 3 straight at home. Green Bay doesn't play again until next Saturday at Detroit Mercy. Then at Wisconsin. Then 3 of the last 4 at home. From the big one against UIC in a rematch last year's Horizon League Tournament Championship. That's October 20th. Holmes. Saporito. Williams going down, and Green Bay now trying to take advantage.
So when we get service now, who's going to be in the back post? Nobody. Switch!
Looking for options. Taken away from Vang. Sulic with Conway on the run. Left here for Green. Going far side, and out it comes towards Saporito. Watch closely here by Sella. Vuklitinovic. A goal kick coming up as the Panthers will make a substitution. Then we'll see Jackson Dryden back in.
Entering the game for the Panthers, number 20, Jackson Dryden.
Out comes Williams. Kovacic. 94th minute. And again, if this holds up, for the first time these teams have played to a 0-0 draw in Milwaukee since 1979. Another goal kick. There have been 16 combined shots. 9 of those have been on goal. And again, there's only been 3 combined shots on goal. Check that, only 2 shots on goal in the second half. 2 combined shots on goal in the second half alone. There have been 23 combined fouls, and again, 1 yellow card that went against Bourgeois of Green Bay. On the pass from Dryden. Vuklitinovic. We'll leave it off for Saporito. Latinovic. Near the halfway point of this first overtime, and not much to report so far. That's kind of been the story in the first 95 minutes. Not a ton has happened. Hasn't been the most thrilling game to watch, but not for lack of effort. And I say that because, again, the lack of quality scoring opportunities. Been physical, plenty physical. Bourgeois. Deflects out to Jackson Dryden. Certainly the energy's been there, though, for both sides and the effort. Saporito. And a couple looks over Green Bay. At one point, Bourgeois had a decent look. Also, at one point, at Sella, who took a shot, although the team would love to have seen him pass it off instead in the closing minutes of regulation. Less than 4 minutes left here in this first overtime. Lorenzen. Strong battles. A couple players get tangled up, including Husseini, along with Dryden. Husseini.
17 for who? 13. Handball. 8 for who?
Kept in here by Swatsulic. Dryden. And Green Bay will send this ball out of bounds. Another thrown again here for the Panthers. That's going to be tossed in here by Davis Green. Well, Bradford getting away with a push here in, what is the 98th minute. Green. And now sent downfield by JT Spath. Again, he's been in. Adam Mansa left the game with injury back in the first half, has not returned. And JT's done a great job filling in. Clay Brown subs in, Bernard Asibi-Rule. Brady Lennis.
Number 8, Rule. Number 9, Omar.
Roble Omar all back in to the Green Bay lineup.
27, Brown.
98th minute.
Marking in 35.
Spath. Kept in, but well, no, it's not. Swatsulia try to keep it from going out. Latinovic. Husseini. Panthers out of the midfield. Conway coming back toward the ball. Sulic. Panther throwing here in the soon-to-be 100th minute of this one.
1 minute remaining.
And there's the game-winning goal! Sean Holmes, and the Chancellor's Cup belongs to Milwaukee.
Panther goal scored by number 7, Sean Holmes.
In the 100th minute, Sean Holmes, the game-winning goal, and the Panthers are victorious in this Horizon League battle against Green Bay. Sean Holmes, another big-time goal. What a couple weeks he has put together. He had a goal at Marquette, a couple of assists at Northern Kentucky, and now a game winner against the Green Bay Phoenix. And again, he had 1 assist in 29 career games entering this season. He now has 3 goals and 2 helpers this season alone. Panthers, they do in fact end it in the 100th minute. The 100th minute, and Milwaukee lays claim to the Chancellor's Cup, improving the record to 6-3-1, 2-0-1 in conference play. Phoenix fall to 5-4-1, 2-2 in the conference. This being their first loss away from Titletown. For our entire crew behind the scenes, Matt Middle saying so long from Engelman Stadium in Milwaukee. The final score, Milwaukee 1, Green Bay nothing in overtime off that finish by Sean Holmes in the 100th minute. And the Panthers, they go home victorious in this, again, the 7th overtime game of the last 9 get-togethers. It's now the 5th that has produced a winner. All games airing on the ESPN networks and streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.